Ladies and gentlemen, today we delve into a topic that touches many lives and often brings feelings of confusion, hurt, and sometimes even despair. It's a situation we have all experienced when someone we care about withdraws their communication, leaving us questioning our worth and the reasons behind their silence. But let me share a truth that can shift your understanding and empower your emotional journey. When he stops contacting you, it's not necessarily because he doesn't want to talk. More often than not, it's about what's happening within him. The complexities of life can weigh heavily on anyone. Individuals may face pressures from work, personal issues, or even overwhelming emotional states that cause them to retreat. They might not have the tools or the clarity to express what's going on within themselves. This is often misunderstood, leading to feelings of rejection, confusion, and sometimes despair. It's as if the silence is a direct reflection of your worth. However, that is far from the truth. Let's delve deeper into understanding the intricacies behind his withdrawal, and perhaps, in doing so, we can cultivate a more compassionate and less reactive approach to these situations. As we consider this 4 different features, we once more pause and look at the situation, and I call it Zen on purpose, and then lead into a discussion on the meditative benefits of prom visualization. Imagine you're driving on a long road trip, and suddenly your passenger begins to stare out the window. They become withdrawn, and their response to your questions becomes monosyllabic. The immediate instinct is to assume that something is wrong and that they're upset with you. But let's consider a more plausible explanation. They might be lost in thought, processing something deeply personal, or struggling with a recent memory. Their gaze out the window could be an attempt to collect their thoughts, to gather the emotional strength to face you and share their burden. It's the same in the context of human relationships. People can pull away, not because they've lost interest, but because they're fighting a silent battle. Perhaps they're struggling with anxiety or depression, grappling with past traumas or current fears. These internal struggles can manifest in silence, as if they're hiding their vulnerability from the world, fearing judgment, rejection, or further pain. Understanding this aspect of the human experience can be liberating. It allows us to recognize that someone's withdrawal is rarely ever about us. It's about their capacity to manage their emotions, their willingness to confront the challenges of their day, and their resilience to stay afloat in an overwhelming world. This shift in perspective empowers us to approach such situations with empathy rather than self-doubt. It's not to say that your feelings don't matter. They do. It's valid to feel hurt, confused, or even rejected. However, allowing those feelings to consume you can prevent you from seeing the world from another's perspective. Empathy isn't about erasing your emotions. It's about adding perspective. By doing so, you can begin to understand that their silence is often a cry for help, whether it's for themselves or a way to process their thoughts and emotions. Empathy doesn't make us weak, it makes us stronger. It allows us to navigate these complex emotional landscapes with grace and understanding. So the next time he stops contacting you, instead of taking it as a personal affront, try to understand that he might be struggling with the same issues that we all deal with from time to time. Try to see him not as someone who's rejecting you, but as a person navigating their own journey, just like you. Remember, understanding is not the same as excusing. His behavior, whether it's withdrawal or otherwise, may indeed be a part of a larger issue, but it's the way you approach it that matters. By choosing empathy over anger or hurt, you open the door for healing, for growth, and for potentially deepening the connection with him. Empathy is a choice, and in choosing it, you're not only showing understanding, but also respect for the complexities of his emotional journey. Empathy is the thread that weaves understanding together, and it begins with recognizing that the world is full of stories and struggles that may not be immediately clear to us. When he stops contacting you, don't just see the surface. Try to understand the depth behind his silence. Empowerment through perspective is a transformative process that allows us to redefine our experiences and interactions with others. When someone we care about stops reaching out, it can quickly spiral into feelings of rejection and self-doubt. But what if we could shift those emotions into a framework of understanding? What if, instead of assuming this silence is a commentary on our worth, we view it as an opportunity for growth and learning, both for ourselves and the other person? Shifting our perspective begins with recognizing that every individual we encounter is navigating a unique landscape shaped by their experiences, fears, and aspirations. Life is complex and often unpredictable. The silence or withdrawal we experience might not relate specifically to us, but reflect broader issues the person is facing. Perhaps they are overwhelmed by stress at work, dealing with personal ambitions, or struggling with mental health challenges that they're hesitant to share. When we make the conscious choice to view their actions through this lens, we create space for compassion rather than confusion. This empowerment through perspective is crucial for our emotional well-being. Just as we recognize that our lives are multifaceted, peppered with challenges and triumphs, so too are the lives of the people we care about. Instead of internalizing negative feelings, we empower ourselves to believe in the possibility that this lack of communication could be an expression of their struggle, a timely reminder that everyone is human, wrestling with their unique battles. Moreover, understanding this dynamic helps us to reclaim our power. When we assume that their silence is a reflection of our inadequacies, we unwittingly surrender our emotional stability to someone else's actions. This external locus of control can be disempowering. We allow another person's behavior to dictate our happiness, self-esteem, and outlook on life. However, when we choose to see silence as a sign of what others might be going through, we take back control. We accept that we can still foster our self-esteem and happiness irrespective of someone else's actions. Encouraging a shift in perspective also cultivates self-compassion. When we are faced with someone withdrawing from communication, we often amplify our inner critic, leading us to ruminate over our flaws. Yet shifting our perspective invites us to treat ourselves with the same kindness we would extend to a friend Z. If we could apply that self-compassionate tone to ourselves, we'd quickly realize that we too are deserving of patience, especially when faced with the complexities of intricate relationships. This self-kindness opens the door to resilience, enabling us to navigate through emotional discomfort with more grace. In addition, this empowered perspective can serve as a catalyst for growth. Instead of viewing the silence as an endpoint, we can see it as a moment of reflection that can lead to personal or relational development. Perhaps it's an opportunity to step back and evaluate what we want from our relationships. Is this connection mutually beneficial? Are we both contributing to a healthy dialogue? Or is there room for improvement? Recognizing that withdrawal can serve as a reflective moment allows you to initiate introspection, ultimately guiding you toward healthier relationships in the future. This perspective shift is not merely about accepting silence, it's about transforming it. When we accept that silence can mark the beginning of a journey rather than the end, we open ourselves to new possibilities. Perhaps when the time feels right, you will find the strength to reach out, armed with a sense of compassion, self-awareness, and emotional resilience. This action can lead to deeper connections and open conversations where both parties can express their complexities. Essentially, if we harness empowerment through perspective, we can redefine the narrative surrounding someone's withdrawal from contact. By fostering an understanding that goes beyond self-doubt and hurt, we position ourselves for growth while nurturing the principles of empathy and respect for one another's experiences. This change in mindset can be critical, not only for personal healing, but also for the development of meaningful, authentic connections moving forward. In conclusion, when faced with silence or withdrawal from someone close, it's essential to look beyond the immediate pain and challenge our assumptions. By empowering ourselves through this perspective shift, we can foster empathy, cultivate resilience, and ultimately transform our experiences into meaningful opportunities for growth and connection, both with ourselves and with others. This empowered approach can redefine not just our relationships, but also how we perceive ourselves in the vast tapestry of human interactions. Communication is a fundamental aspect of human interaction, shaping our relationships and influencing our emotional well-being. It serves as the bridge that connects people, allowing for the sharing of thoughts, feelings, and experiences. However, there are moments in every relationship when one party may become unresponsive or distant, leading to confusion and concern for the other. Understanding the critical role of open communication in resolving such situations requires exploring its significance, the barriers that can obstruct it, and the proactive approaches that can be taken to restore connection. Effective communication is essential not just for sharing information, but for fostering emotional intimacy and trust. When communication channels are open and transparent, individuals feel valued and heard. This nurtures the foundation of relationships, be they friendships, family ties, or romantic partnerships. When someone suddenly stops reaching out, it often signals a breakdown in this essential channel, leading to misunderstandings and emotional distance. Recognizing the significance of communication in maintaining relationships allows us to understand why silence may feel so alarming. barriers to communication can take many forms. In some cases, individuals may lack the skills or confidence to express themselves openly, especially when dealing with sensitive topics or intense emotions. Perhaps they fear judgment or ridicule, or they might be overwhelmed by their circumstances, which prevents them from articulating their thoughts and feelings. Such barriers can manifest as silence, leading the other party to feel isolated or abandoned. Miscommunication also plays a crucial role in the dynamics of relationships. Sometimes a lack of clarity or misunderstandings can contribute to perceived distance. For instance, if expectations aren't clearly articulated, or if one party assumes the other knows and understands their needs, frustration can build. The individual who feels neglected or unimportant may withdraw further, while the one who may not even realize there's an issue carries on, unaware of the growing divide. This can create a vicious cycle that compounds the initial feelings of isolation and withdrawal. Navigating these challenges requires a proactive approach to communication. It's essential to cultivate an environment where both parties feel safe and comfortable discussing their emotions and concerns. A crucial step is to initiate a conversation, but it should be approached with care. Rather than expressing frustration or hurt immediately, framing the dialogue in a positive, open-ended way can pave the way for more constructive communication. For instance, asking questions like, "I've noticed we haven't been talking as much lately. Is everything okay?" opens the door to dialogue without placing blame. This invites the other person to share their perspective and feelings without the fear of being criticized. Active listening is another vital aspect of effective communication. When someone finally opens up about their feelings, it's crucial to listen with intent, giving them your full attention. This means putting aside distractions, maintaining eye contact, and providing affirmations that you are engaged in the conversation. Validating their feelings, even if you don't fully understand their experience, is key to fostering open dialogue. By demonstrating that you value their feelings and understand their plight, you create a space conducive to honest communication. Additionally, being mindful of nonverbal cues can significantly enhance communication efforts. Our body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions convey messages that can sometimes overshadow our words. When reaching out to someone who has become distant, ensure that your nonverbal cues reflect warmth and openness. A friendly tone, a gentle expression, and open body language can invite the other person to reciprocate, making them feel more welcomed and less guarded. It's also important to approach the situation with patience and understanding. Sometimes individuals need time to process their emotions before they can articulate them. Pushing for answers or demanding explanations can further alienate someone who feels overwhelmed. Giving them the space to reflect on their feelings fosters a healthier communication dynamic and allows them to come to you when they are ready. Another powerful tool in rebuilding communication is self-reflection. It can be beneficial to take a step back and examine your feelings and reactions to the situation. Understanding your role in the relationship and acknowledging where you may have lost sight of open communication can clarify your approach. This alone can help you reframe the narrative from one of hurt to one of growth and connection. In summary, communication is the lifeblood of relationships, vital for emotional connection, trust, and intimacy. When faced with silence or withdrawal from someone important, it's crucial to recognize the barriers that may inhibit open dialogue. By taking proactive steps, initiating conversation in a non-confrontational way, practicing active listening, paying attention to nonverbal cues, exercising patience, and engaging in self-reflection, you can restore and nurture the connection. In cultivating effective communication, you not only address the immediate concerns, but also lay a robust foundation for enduring trust and understanding, ensuring that the bonds you share continue to flourish. Resolving conflict is an integral part of navigating human relationships, whether in personal encounters or professional settings. Conflicts often arise from misunderstandings, differing values, or unmet expectations, and when they remain unaddressed, they have the potential to escalate and lead to further estrangements. However, employing effective conflict resolution strategies can transform these challenging moments into opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. This process involves embracing a mindset geared toward collaboration, fostering open communication, recognizing the value of compromise, and focusing on long-term relationship maintenance. It must also include a proactive and affirmative. Embracing a collaborative mindset is essential when engaging in conflict resolution. This means approaching the situation with the intent to understand rather than to win. By fostering an atmosphere where both parties are seen as collaborators rather than adversaries, the chances of finding common ground increase significantly. Collaboration requires humility and open-mindedness, as it encourages individuals to explore the nuances of the conflict rather than remain entrenched in their positions. When both individuals feel they are working together to resolve an issue, it shifts the focus from me versus you to us versus the problem. This transformation is crucial in building trust and minimizing defensiveness, creating a fertile ground for resolution. Fostering open communication is another critical component of effective conflict resolution. It's important to establish a safe and respectful environment where both parties feel comfortable expressing their thoughts and feelings. This involves actively inviting dialogue, ensuring that each person has an opportunity to voice their perspective without interruption. When discussing the conflict, using I statements, such as I feel or I notice, can minimize blame and reduce defensiveness. For example, saying, I feel unheard when my suggestions aren't considered, instead of, you never listen to me, can foster a more constructive conversation. This shift in language can help depersonalize the issue and enable the other person to engage without feeling attacked, thus promoting a more open exchange of ideas and feelings. Recognizing the significance of compromise is vital for effective conflict resolution. Often, each party comes to the table with their own desires, expectations, and boundaries. Understanding that it might be necessary to adjust those expectations can lead to more satisfactory outcomes for all involved. Compromise doesn't imply that one person always gives in to the other. Rather, it involves finding a middle ground that acknowledges and respects both parties' needs, adjusted some of those needs into the process for each piece, as it helps connect any party who might otherwise fracture or step on each other. This could mean making small concessions in order to maintain harmony, or collaborating on a solution that incorporates elements important to both individuals. Entering a conflict with a mindset geared toward finding mutually acceptable outcomes can foster goodwill and strengthen the relationship. Moreover, a focus on long-term relationship maintenance is essential when resolving conflicts. Rather than merely seeking to resolve the immediate issue at hand, it is beneficial to consider the broader context of the relationship. This involves reflecting on how the resolution of this conflict fits into the overall dynamics between the individuals involved. By prioritizing the health of the relationship over individual desires, parties may discover solutions that not only address the current problem, but also enhance trust and mutual respect moving forward. For example, both parties could agree to regular check-ins to ensure open communication remains a priority, thereby preventing future misunderstandings or conflicts from escalating to the same level. Additionally, it's important to embrace accountability and transparency in the conflict resolution process. Both individuals should acknowledge their roles in the conflict and take responsibility for their actions and words. This openness fosters a greater understanding of the issues at play and encourages both parties to hold themselves accountable for their contributions to the problem. Furthermore, expressing genuine remorse for any harm caused can go a long way in mending hurt feelings, as it underscores a commitment to the relationship and a desire to improve interactions going forward. Self-regulation and emotional control are also crucial during conflict resolution. When emotions are high, individuals may resort to reactive behaviors that can exacerbate the conflict. It's essential to practice self-awareness and manage one's emotional responses effectively. Techniques such as deep breathing, taking a time out to collect one's thoughts, or even stepping away from the conversation momentarily can provide clarity and prevent rash decisions or hurtful comments. By approaching conflict with a calm demeanor and a level head, individuals can maintain the integrity of the dialogue, making the process more constructive. Lastly, seeking guidance from a neutral third party can be beneficial when conflicts seem particularly challenging or entrenched. Mediators or counselors can provide valuable insights and facilitate productive discussions. They can help both parties articulate their feelings and needs while keeping the conversation focused on resolution rather than escalation. This external perspective can provide fresh ideas and foster understanding in ways that might not be possible within the original dyad. In conclusion, resolving conflict is an inevitable aspect of relationships that can serve as a catalyst for growth when approached thoughtfully. By embracing collaboration, fostering open communication, recognizing the importance of compromise, maintaining a focus on the long-term health of the relationship, embracing accountability, practicing emotional control, and, when necessary, seeking outside assistance, individuals can navigate conflict successfully. These strategies not only help in addressing immediate issues, but can also reinforce the foundation of trust and understanding necessary for healthy, lasting relationships. By transforming conflict into an opportunity for connection and growth, we enhance our relational dynamics and pave the way for deeper, more meaningful connections.